Okay.
All right. Hey guys, welcome to our new podcast. Yeah, we're gonna get this started. We were thinking about this for some time. I think this whole idea started off, I don't know. I've had this idea in mind since last year. It was just a little bit difficult to get this going.
I knew about it a week ago, so
Yeah,
I'm
um,
here though. We're chilling.
exactly. So we came up with this idea a week ago. That's where it like all started. And yeah, welcome to our new podcast. We're gonna try to get something going over here. I think that Penn State doesn't really have a really like a one centered, one focused podcast that is like this main podcast that like I don't know, like is like wow, you hear Penn State and then you see like this podcast. So we'll see. We'll try to work something out here. I mean, best case scenario, it blows up. Worst case scenario
We fall off.
is
We're
it
gone.
fall off and then people forget about it. It's okay.
Hmm.
We have our hopes high. This is the open mic po. This is the open mic podcast, and yeah, welcome. My name is Kai.
My name's Chase.
Here we go. Currently from State College, PA, born and raised in Poland, Gdańsk, moved to the United States when I was 11 and lived for 3 years in California, and then moved here to State College when I was coming into ninth grade. Been living in State College since 2019, kind of get my foots into this Pennsylvanian vibe, someone might say, started in here. So one may say I've been more of a townie recently, but definitely more of still Polish person inside of me. And you know,
You got the
11
accent.
11 years grew up, accent, as people are gonna know this. So this I make my co-partner here to introduce himself.
I'm a well, I just forgot. I'm a born and raised Pennsylvanian, born in Lancaster, PA. Been there my whole life. Came to State College for architecture, which is what you see in front of us. That's our desk.
Yeah,
These are our work desks.
but I think we
We
can
got some projects over here. We just finished up for the semester, which is perfect.
we'll get into the more architectural stuff
Yeah,
soon. But
yeah.
yeah,
But we're here. We're chilling.
yeah. I also don't want this to be an architectural podcast. Let's get this clear. This is not supposed to be an architectural podcast. This is supposed to be just like more of, talking and just communicating with you guys out there in Penn State, communicating with the students out in the architectural building, outside of the architectural building, wherever you are in Penn State. This is supposed to be just, you know, you can meet some people, you can talk to some people about it. And, this is more just to build a community in Penn State. And, we are after all. So, yeah. Um, I think we should start by like explaining like what got us into making this podcast. I think that's a good way to put it because we kind of mentioned it
I'd say
earlier
so, yeah.
that we got this idea, but I think we should start with the idea. Why do we even want to do this? Why did you agree to do this?
I agreed to do this because this is always kind of something I've wanted to do, whether it was like making YouTube videos or doing like a podcast or something, just being out there. I have my own like Instagram and stuff that I do for car related
Yeah, and we'll put that
topics,
in the link
and
below,
that
of
will
course,
be
but
separate. Like that, we can talk about that some other time.
exactly, yeah.
But that's what you see on the wall here. There's some other characteristics around here, but when Kai brought up the idea, I was like, I'm down. Like, why not? You know?
Yeah, I think the podcast idea has been in my head for a long time. I mean, it all started. I never really had a YouTube account. Like, of course, you're a young person, I mean, I don't want to sound old, but you're just in your high school times and you just kind of just like want to make those YouTube videos because you see all those people, Mr. Beast, PewDiePie, Jake Paul, Logan Paul.
Oh,
Like, I'm sorry, crazy shout outs, but
mm,
it is what it is. We were there in middle school, maybe even elementary school for some of y'all, and you just see those, people, and you're just kind of like, wow, what if I tried that? And some people go blow up a little bit, some people more, some people don't, some people don't even try it. But at the end of the day, I love to talk.
He's a D1 yapper.
I'm a D1 yapper.
D1 yapper. I'm not even in the D's.
Nah,
I don't
I'm
talk that much. If you
I'm
couldn't tell
just
already just from where we're at so far.
yeah, I'm just an open person, and I just really wanted to, get something going where I can just like speak and not feel like I'm speaking in the wrong time. Since I was like a little kid, I feel like a lot of times when you try to talk and you're a more talkative person, people always tell you to like either be quiet or like don't talk or something like this. But like it's in the like it's in you. Like you
Hmm.
just cannot really like get it out because it's just like who you are. Like you're just more talkative person. Like I just wanna go talk, meet people, extroverted.
Yeah.
But it's just the way it goes. But going back, the podcast kind of just like turned around where we were just sitting here and I don't know, I was just kind of like, hmm, why don't we just start a podcast?
Yeah.
And it just kind of like slipped. And I didn't think he was gonna say yes to it at first. I mean, I was surprised that he agreed to this. I'm gonna keep it
He said
completely
he was
honest.
talking to other people like, "Yo, you should be the co-host." And I was like, "Why not me?"
I, he's more introverted
I
person,
yeah.
so at first in my head I'm like, this should be more of like a someone who can talk and someone this. But then after he said that, I was like, why? Like, why does it have to be an extroverted person? After all, this can be just like two people that just get along, and you're getting the two different perspectives
Hmm.
on a lot of ideas. If you have this person that is more of like this talkative, outgoing person, and is just like living his life and just
Yeah.
still wants to talk, but just isn't like, hey, yo, I have to talk to everyone.
Yeah.
So
Like we have probably I'd say pretty similar personalities.
yeah,
It's just we're on opposite sides of like extroverted versus introverted.
yeah,
And like what you were saying, how it's hard to like sometimes you feel like you shouldn't be talking even though you just want to talk.
yeah,
In this world, like for me, I'm again the opposite where it's like I'm just sitting here. Maybe I'll want to say something, but I just don't have like the experience like you would have
yeah,
from just jumping in all the time for myself to actually kind of jump in and talk.
yeah.
So
And
I
I
feel like this would almost create kind of like a space for both of us where like we can learn each other's ways and kind of figure out like kind of this like sweet middle spot, if
Yeah,
that makes sense.
exactly. Yeah, and I think this is a great way to also go and I think transition into this like topic of why are we here? Not as in like at this podcast, why are we here in the architectural building and what the heck got us in here?
For sure.
I know I'm gonna be yapping for a long time, so I'm gonna get my co-host here to maybe start us going with this
I'm
because
started. All
yeah,
right.
why now?
How I got here. Well, it's a pretty short story, I'll be honest.
Bruh. All right.
Like most of my stuff, it's a
The
pretty short
most, the
story.
least exciting entry I've ever seen to anything. It's a short
It's a
story.
short story. Basically, I mean, as a kid, as I mean, probably all of us, we grew up with Minecraft.
All right, this is
Minecraft,
going very different way than I thought it was going to,
different way
but
than you thought it was.
okay. All right, continue. Sorry.
I remember when I got my Xbox 360, 2013, fall coming into winter.
Hmm.
First game we got was Minecraft. That was great. Ever since then, I was hooked. I mean, Minecraft at the beginning, Minecraft itself was just fun. Like you're exploring. It's a
Yeah.
free roam. It was like a new sort of game. Like never
Yeah.
there was never really something like that before, and it was just fun to play around in that. Over time, like as I met new people, I made new friends. My best friend actually.
Yeah.
We got more into like actually building and designing, creating structures, creating terrain, just all this sorts of stuff, and turning Minecraft from more of like a exploring, fun sort of game to a more architectural designer sort of
Hmm.
create your own world type of game.
Yeah. That's 100% valid.
And from there, I mean, high school, I was very fortunate with my high school. We had a whole tech department where I actually did a lot of engineering, and I still love engineering. I
Yeah.
love working with super like technical stuff. The stands that these cameras are actually on, I designed those
Yeah,
in about
he designed them. Don't look
10
at me.
minutes, and it took. They're decent. They're good enough. I'd redo them again now that I
Yeah,
made this first rendition. But there was one class in high school that I took, and that was architecture.
yeah,
That kind of sealed my deal. I was
that's
like, "Yep,
valid.
this is what I want to do."
That's valid. Now, with me, since in Poland, back in Poland when I was growing up, I never really had like, I was always this like person that like, you know, who are you gonna be to grow up? No clue. I think that's like for a lot of people, especially when you're in like elementary school, like, what do I know who I want to be?
I knew.
I mean,
I knew.
I
It
mean,
wasn't this.
nah, that's valid. Nah, I wanted, when I was in elementary school, I think it all started with wanting to be a race car driver, honestly. I always had this aspiration to being a race car driver, and I think we're gonna get into cars sometime soon, knowing him. But I, when I moved to the United States, and when I came to this in sixth grade to middle school in the United States, it all kind of started with me, I come from an athletic family. My dad is a coach. Um, my mom always pushed me to with sports. She always wanted me to be a swimmer. That's been like my whole like her whole passion, like almost her whole life for me to be a swimmer. My dad is a he was a Poland's national team for fencing coach, Egyptian national team for fencing coach. He worked at a club. He worked at the Penn State University. Now he works at the in North Carolina University, the UNC. Um, and just like always grew up with this like aspiration to be something to do with athletes, but my dad never really pushed me to be an athlete. He always believed that who you want to be will come from you. And then as we moved from California in after eighth grade, we came to State College to Penn State University. I kind of like just like wanted to find something new. So in high school, I was very fortunate, as my co-host Chase said, um, that that you have all these possibilities in your high school. You're filled with you know, um, engineering, architecture, food, like baking, like I said food, but like anything to do with food. We had all STEM, DECA, anything, business, like
Hmm.
this high school is like whatever you want to be, you can become. And I was like, let's try something new, something I have not thought about. And I went into architectural class. The moment after the first class, I knew that this is fun and I want to do this. So since ninth grade till 12th grade took 4 years of architecture in high school and kind of just stuck out with it. My prof was amazing. One of the best profs, actually one of my inspirations to come into the architecture. But applied to architecture. Only applied to Penn State, did not apply anywhere else. Did not apply anywhere
I,
else.
I only applied three places: Temple, Drexel, and Penn State. I got accepted to Temple. If I did not get accepted to Penn State, I would not be doing architecture
That's
right now.
valid. No, I wanted to do architecture. That was like my main goal. I was like, I'm not gonna be that business communications guy that just like goes into college, not trying to, shit on anyone, but just kind of like, I'm not trying to be like, I don't want to be like anyone, everybody
You
like
want to be
else.
unique.
I want to be unique, something, and I always wanted to be unique. Since day one, I've had this thing about me that I was pushed by my mom, by my dad, make a change in the world. Be that person who stands out and makes a difference. So I thought us coming into the architecture was like the best idea to do this. And since I had experience with it for the last 4 years, I thought that this was great. So came in, I'm here, and I think I can transition into kind of like how we're doing in architecture now. So I would say that the first year of architecture was, in my experience, after someone who had 4 years of architecture in high school, was absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. My first two projects were some of the most irritating stuff to me as someone who learned things in high school because you know these things. You've learned these things before, you've done them, but these profs, they want to do it in their way. And when you try to approach it with your own way, it kind of like they kind of like negate you. They just like they come at you with like this negative mindset to kind of just like tell you that you're doing it wrong because you're not doing it like they're doing it, which in my head is like, well, I've been taught by someone who he's not he actually is now. He became last year a certified architect,
Okay, okay.
licensed architect, because he's originally a draftsman. He's a draftsman who has his own architectural firm, but he was not a licensed architect.
Hmm.
And at one point they came to him and they told him that he cannot have an architectural firm because that's my teacher from high school. They told him that he just cannot be an architect. So he had to, he went to took some Penn State classes for that, and he passed. He passed his exam, so now he's a licensed architect. But yeah, so first year, first semester was, I would say, kind of useless. Like it was just like boring. I wasn't having fun, and I was actually thinking about dropping. I was thinking about
That's
dropping a
saying
year
something.
ago. I was thinking about switching into architectural engineering for a hot second because my mom, she was like, you have to, if not architecture, you have to go something with engineering.
Hmm.
You have to be someone. Like you have to be someone that like is something. So I was thinking either architectural engineering or graphic design.
I think graphic design would have been the way to go, personally.
Yeah, so
It's like if
because
you want to be something, there's so many engineers in the world. Both my roommates, which I've known them since middle school at this
yeah,
point. I mean, they're both engineers, both great guys. But it's just like our school is almost what, 40, 30, 40% engineers?
here,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
100%. 100%. One of
I
the, well, you see, architectural engineering is this is number one school for architectural engineering in the
hmm,
United States. I've been told that yesterday. I was told that yesterday. I did not know that,
that's
but
crazy.
it's apparently a number one school for architectural engineering. So I was like, all right, that explains it, why there's so many engineers here. But yes, I was considering dropping, and then the second semester came around. More interesting project. First project, I thought it was amazing.
Oh, I loved our rotation three.
Yeah, rotation three
Rotation three was great.
was amazing. My prof wasn't so amazing. She gave me a C on my project
My
because she
prof was
said
amazing.
she said that I wasn't in class, which she herself, yeah, she said that I wasn't in class. She herself told me that she gave me a bad grade because I, not because my work was bad, because I was not in class time, like during like class, because I was down in the shop, our shop where we like create our stuff. I was creating bookshelves, and I was down in the shop trying to create our shelves, and it just absolutely like killed me to know that like she lowered my grade because of that, because she was the
Yeah,
one who let me go. That person, she told me that like yeah, you're allowed to go down there, work, but and like just like work on your design. So I was like, okay. So I was down there, and then I come back, and then I do my final presentation, and then she's telling me that I wasn't in class, I wasn't participating. It's just,
that's
I
crazy.
just feel like it was unfair to me because everyone loved. I created Jenga stacked bookshelves that like had sliding doors, and I sat in that workshop with Alan. It's okay, shout. Create our great person that is down in the shop helps everyone. He helped me create the sliding doors, just like by you push your hand against it and it slides smoothly. It was the most amazing thing I've ever like created. That sliding door, not like the bookshelf itself, because it needs a little bit more work on it.
Yeah,
But like everyone loved it. You can sit on it, you can stand on it. It would not break. It,
I don't remember seeing that.
no,
I do know. No.
I'll show you after the program. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but yeah, I loved it, and then she apparently didn't love it
Mm.
because not only did it, she said that I was down there, but her also like her second problem with it was that it didn't fit the box that we were meant to put it in, and it did fit the box because every piece fit perfectly into the box because I had it measured. You know what she said?
Hmm.
Maybe it fits into the box, but it's too heavy. she started switching what she was like complaining about. So I was like, okay, let's just like let's just like forget. I'm just gonna take this, see whatever. So kind of roll
Uh-huh.
through rotation three, rotation four. I was able to just get my mind out. My favorite project, year one by far. Loved it, finished it, got a good grade, moved on. Second year, we're here now. Sophomores in college. I don't think we've said that, but we're
Nope.
sophomores, second year students, architecture, Penn State University, and we're just done, as Chase already said. We're done with our second project of the semester,
Hmm.
second project of the year also.
Second project of the year.
First project. What do you think about it? Since this is our first year. Last year we were not in the same section, may I say that.
Yeah.
We didn't really even talk last year.
No, the only time
No.
was the New York trip.
Yeah, exactly. Like we had a trip to New York, 3 day trip to New York City, where we spent 3 days in New York City to explore, get the sense of what it's like to be living in an architectural city after all.
Hmm.
Um, but no, we we didn't really
We
talk
didn't
outside,
talk.
and then we were thrown into this section this year. We're sitting like in this corner. I wish you guys could see this, but
Yeah, we
I'm
got.
gonna mess with
I mean, you can
cameras.
see here. We kind of got
Yeah, I
like
mean,
the prison windows.
yeah,
I like to call them.
the view behind me, I'll get to that later, um, but yes. So what did we think about the first rotation?
First rotation was dime. That was
Yeah.
probably overall like working through it and getting my design. Like as soon as we got our program, because with every project we get a program from the start that has it lists out all our square footages, kind of the space we have, the site. It gives us all our context that we need to be able to make our projects. From the beginning, right then and there, I knew the main idea behind my project. Like
Yep.
I knew what
Yep.
I wanted, and just getting to work with that. Our prof for the first rotation was just wonderful.
Yeah, he was amazing.
He was
I was gonna
always,
get into him later.
yeah, he always
Honestly,
liked. I mean, he always liked what we were doing, and he gave good feedback and everything. Very
not according
positive.
to some of our colleagues.
You just gotta ask him
Yeah,
questions.
exactly. We'll
You
get to that
you
later,
gotta know
but
you gotta ask him questions. But working through that and having a final design that like I personally really liked,
mhm.
and I got to present, and I presented it really well. As like as an introverted person, that's kind of a struggle sometimes
Yeah,
presenting in
yeah,
front of a
makes
whole
sense.
class. And
Even for extroverted people, I find myself sometimes struggling to. It may not look like it, but it's you're an extroverted person when you're speaking to someone. Like right now, like this is like I'm just talking,
yeah,
but like when you're standing outside of someone that is giving you a grade and that someone is judging you for what you created, that's a little bit, I don't know how it is for an introverted person. For an extroverted person, it's like you're there like, all right, I'm just gonna talk. I'm just gonna use my like, ability to just like talk, but still, what if they don't like it?
yeah.
What if they judge you harsh? And
Like
yeah.
I feel like for an introverted person, it's similar, but like our as my main worry would more so be the crowd, because like sure you're presenting to a judge or like 1 to 3 judges,
So
crits
more of the people that sit
that
there
are there
behind.
and they're watching you, they're judging you, and like
I mean, it's
that's who's grading you, but like you have all these other people behind them and they're all watching you. Sure, you know them all. Like
hmm.
I can name almost everybody in
Yes.
studio.
I mean,
I
what are
know
we?
everybody.
60 something now, students? 65?
I think we're under 65. I think we're closer to 60.
You know that there's not that many people dropping anymore, right?
I know. There's
Uh,
only a couple, but I mean we
no,
started
it's like two.
I thought it was about 62 at the beginning of the year.
I thought that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that, something
Yeah.
similar. Yeah.
But like even so, it's just the thought of all these people. Now, I don't know what happened between last year, this year, like over the summer or what. My stress levels have gone way down,
Hmm.
which is I don't know
That's
what
good.
happened, but
That's
it's
really good.
so nice because
Yeah.
I can sit there and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna go up, I'm gonna present.
Yeah.
I feel
I mean, you're not
confident,
worried
I
about
feel
it.
good. I think it probably helps that I know everybody now. Like
Yeah. I mean,
last year,
100%.
I didn't really talk to much, like to many people. I talked to my section, but I didn't really explore far out. Like
Yeah.
he was in the section next to me.
Yep.
I didn't go over there. I didn't go to section 3. I was just kind of in my space, just doing what I was doing.
Well, that's valid. That's absolutely valid. And
Yeah.
I think I felt the same way about rotation one. I love the ability to create something that we wanted to create. That they gave us this freedom. They gave us a site, they gave us a program. I felt like I was an architect.
Yeah.
I actually felt like I was designing something that was meaningful for myself, but it was also meaningful for someone else. And with that, I was so like happy to create it. And our bike barn came out absolutely our bike barn, like his and mine, like every honestly, so many people's bike barns just came out absolutely amazing. And our prof, as I wanted to talk about him, he was, you know, people complained about him, some of us, some of people in our section, but and they said that, he was nice, but he wasn't very much like helpful. I never got that vibe because
He's
I always,
quiet. He was quiet.
okay, when you're quiet, you have to approach someone, you have to
Yeah.
talk to them, like just literally what Chase said. You just have to
You
ask
have to
them a
ask questions.
question.
You gotta know what you think is wrong and what you want confirmation on, and you ask him about that.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
I had talked to him about several things, and I was like, "Oh, this, do this, this, this," or like, "This makes sense, but maybe you change this little thing." It's like,
Yeah,
"Oh, this is
yeah.
great. I like this." Or it's like the great thing about architecture, so, little tangent, is that you don't have to always do what the professor tells you. That's the best part. Like
I
they're gonna
mean,
provide you with feedback, but it's either feedback that's like strongly suggested, or it's like feedback like this could look cool. You can do it if you want, or like they might not. I mean, they don't always say it that way. Usually, it's like you should do this, and it's like no, I don't want to do that.
that's
I'm gonna keep
understandable.
going with my own thing, and it's, in the end, you get something that they like and you like,
Yeah.
and it's just great.
No, I totally agree. I think that um I totally agree. I think that the most important thing about architecture is just to have an open mind to what everyone and anyone is saying. But I think at the end of the day, it's most important, what do you want to create, what you want your
Yeah,
project to be. And I
at
think
least
we
in here.
got a lot of that in rotation one with our bike barns. That's what we were creating. We were creating a little shop slash center for like where people that bike around
Mhm.
the state college area, they can just like stop by and they can stop in it. And I think this was a great project to get our year started. And now, as we transitioned into rotation two, sorry, not year two, now that we transitioned into rotation two, we transitioned into this project that was given to us about to create a library in neighboring town in Belfont. And I think that it was,
It was a struggle. It
yeah,
was
I
a
think
struggle.
the, what made it struggle? Was it the prof?
I think so. For me, I always said, like, at least to myself, I mean, I think said it maybe once to you. I've definitely
Mm,
said it to some people though, is that, I mean, we work a ton. Like, we're in here day in, day out. We'll get in at like 10, 11 in the morning
I mean,
and work, maybe even earlier sometimes. Some of us get here at 3, 4 in the morning because our sleep schedules are
yup.
different.
And that
And we'll
person,
stay.
if you're listening to it, you know who exactly
Yep.
who we're talking
Yes, we do
about.
know. Yes. And so, I mean, and then we'll work all the way
Yeah.
through the day, all the way through the night. We'll be here 2, 3, 4, 5 a.m. sometimes.
Hmm.
I don't think it's in the screen, but on this
I think
board,
it
we now
is.
have all-nighters for the year.
Mine isn't. I don't think mine
I
is in the
don't think
screen.
any of these are. I think maybe the cutoff is at
Maybe.
Hanson
Yup.
Squidward, but like I'm at 1, thankfully. I didn't want to ever pull an all-nighter, but that changed. He's at 8. No, you're at
No.
7.
Uh,
It's almost 8. It's basically 8, like with the amount of late nights that you've pulled.
I mean, all right. Do we want to get into all-nighters?
No,
Is that really the topic
no.
we're trying?
We don't
We
really need
can
to
bring
talk
it
about
up
that.
like if we talk about this project more. I think because we're done with it, we can talk about it more. But
Yeah.
um, I think what was great about sorry, yeah, what was great about this project is the struggle that we felt, and
Mhm.
I complained, but I loved it at the same
You
time.
loved it. I so like I complain too. I was I would say I'm 50-50 because well, I say we work a lot, and like we do really work a lot. I love working. Like
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love doing what I'm doing.
If
It's the amount
yeah,
and it's the time frame
it's
that we
this
have.
short time that gets us all the
Yeah.
time. I always like I love this project. This is kind of like what we were like working with. I don't know. It's in the screen. This is like the project that we build. You can show your project.
Got
I mean,
that.
I'm not gonna go into detail about this project because that will turn into a whole ass architectural podcast. But um, yeah. But I think that what was what was really hard about this project was just like the the time, and it's I don't feel like we have bad time management. I think it's just the amount of work that we are given for such a short amount of time, especially with the prof that we had. He
Yeah.
it's like constant just a sign of work. And like in my head, what I loved about our last rotation is he assigned the work he assigned was like meaningful work. So
Mhm.
you get time to work for something bigger in a longer amount of time. I don't like to get like those little check
Yeah.
marks
Like busy work.
because exactly like don't give me busy work.
Yeah.
Let me work on this thing that is gonna make sense and I'm gonna have actual time to create it.
I've been the same way ever since
Yeah,
middle school.
exactly.
It's like, why do I have to do all this homework? I don't, it doesn't make sense. This is busy work. I
Yeah,
understand the topic. I really don't need to be tested on this topic every
yeah,
single night to make
exactly.
sure I understand it. Like,
100%. 100%. And I think the fact that this project is over and how people left this building right after this project ended today, literally an hour ago, a little bit over an hour ago, but it ended an hour ago. We just hopped on to make this podcast right away. But yeah, I think Chase wants to show us the most useless thing that we
yeah.
created so far. No, no,
So,
no, no. Second most useless, the foam.
but oh, the foam was so
Foam blocks
useless.
were so useless, but
So yeah, you can see them here. We made a bunch of foam blocks for this to figure out the massing, like the actual size of our building
yeah,
within the site. One, we didn't know what foam we needed
yeah.
to make. Two, we were almost out of foam, so like there's a bunch of things that are glued together.
Yep.
It's a mosh posh over there.
This is
And
busy work.
it was just like,
And you were
okay,
going to the concert also.
how's that? Nah, that was not
No,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because remember, he came over, our prof, and he told me,
You're right.
yup, yup,
That was right before the
mm,
first schematic thing.
yup, yup, yup.
Yep. But anyways, but second most useless thing. Honestly, now it's like a little bit more useful because like
Mine is up there. I don't know if anyone can see it, but I'm not,
it's
I'm not gonna
hidden.
pull it out, but it's whatever.
It was like it was a little like checkpoint,
Yeah.
but it definitely helped a bit. But we had to make these
This
quarter
helped?
scale.
This helped you?
This helped me a little bit, yeah. It made me understand a little bit more. It was like I like what I'm doing here. I liked what I changed. Our prof seemed like he liked it, and I was like, okay, okay, let's work with this.
Yeah.
Change like a little bit more, which I had to do in the end. But overall, it was like just I don't. The main thing I didn't get was the size. Like you can see this compared to
Yeah.
this. It's twice the size. It's twice the scale. This bottom thing here is eighth scale. This is quarter.
Yeah.
It was like, well, why did we have to do this in one weekend?
Yeah, I personally did not like that. I mean, it, like I liked it. Like, it's good to have work that you show later, but I made it, got nothing out of it, wasted my time where I could have been working on this project,
Hmm.
which turned out good after all. But it's like the work that I put into this, the work didn't really was used later on for something bigger. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just, yeah, I don't
And
know.
then on top of all of this, like our crits came super quick. Like
Yeah,
we had three different crits for this project. We had three different designs that we had to come
first one was so
like go
bad for
through
me. The first
to
one,
develop our design.
yeah,
This is the final. That's his final.
yeah,
But like I have my other ones over here. They're kind of hidden because they kind of
yeah,
some of them suck. Some of them are like, okay, I like that
yeah. Mine is that's my
up
future
here.
one. Yeah.
Yep. But it's like we go straight from finishing this the night before to then critting, and it's
Some of
like
those crits are, in my opinion, they're useless.
they are kind
They,
of like
it's just like having like unnecessary, like pointing out things that you did wrong because you didn't have enough time to do it.
yeah,
And it's like, oh, you're missing this, this, and this. Well, no, duh, that we're missing it. We didn't have enough time to do it because we were
exactly.
out here working our asses off
Hmm.
till God knows what time.
I I know some of those times.
Yeah,
I'll be honest.
exactly. Like,
Well, like yeah,
yeah,
it another thing
Uh,
I, like with this is, I mean, on top of just like going back to the crits and kind of presenting,
yeah,
it's hard to present when you're running on 2 hours of sleep
yeah,
from the night before. I mean, like 2 to 4
yeah,
realistically, and you got maybe you got under 20 hours
yeah.
for the week of
Um,
sleep.
I think let's draw the point there. Let's switch the topic because we
Yeah,
kind of got sidetracked about
we got
architecture, and
sidetracked. This started
this is
becoming a
not an architectural
yes.
podcast. This is not an architectural podcast.
We needed to vent a little bit. We needed to
We're right after a
we
project, you
needed to
know how it
complain.
is.
You
I
know,
think many people would appreciate this, but um, yeah, I think where do we want to go with this podcast? I think this is we just wanna you're kind of getting that vibe of what we want to do here.
yeah,
Just kind of just like talk about some things that many people I feel like want to talk about in here. And
just kind of chat.
what can we promise the viewers right now? Guests,
Guests, yes, we
special
definitely want to
guests
bring on guests. We want to bring
on
on you guys.
yeah. Exactly. I mean, it's not we're not just hoping for architectural guests. We're hoping
Yeah,
for overall
overall Penn
Penn,
State,
Penn
maybe
State related,
even
and maybe not even Penn State. Maybe
yeah,
some people that are just,
maybe Penn State
townies
alums,
or exactly
townies,
exactly
locals.
or people if we make it maybe that are related to YouTube.
Yeah,
But hey,
if
who
we're
knows?
doing good, I mean,
Who
who knows
knows?
what'll come?
Exactly, who knows? Um, so yeah, so we're promising special guests. We're thinking about once a week
Once a week,
video
hopefully.
podcast.
I
Hopefully, you
mean,
know how it is.
as we just were talking about, we work a lot,
Yeah, we
so
have. Yeah.
we're gonna have times where it's like we can't do
We will
anything
inform you guys if there's,
if there's
there's not an episode or something or just a podcast coming this
yep,
week because of some reason, but you should expect at least once a week a video, and
definitely.
then yeah, I think this is a great introduction to what we want to do here, and I think this is more like an intro video. We're running at, I'm looking at my time, 38 minutes right
Yep,
now.
I just hit 38.
Yeah, so we're running at 38 minutes.
Yep.
This is a perfect time.
Our time frame that we're trying to hit is
Between 38
30
to
and
to
an
an
hour. Yeah,
hour.
so
Yeah.
it's something that like it's not like a 2 hour long podcast that it's
No,
like
those are those.
you're only gonna hear like a second of it. But like say you're walking to class and from class.
Yeah.
Our campus is so big.
Yeah,
We're walking from to and from like Hammond.
exactly. And it's what,
It's a
15
20-minute
minutes
walk.
walk, yeah.
15-20 minute walk. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can listen to half on the way there, half on the way back. Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, we're gonna draw the line there. We're gonna put our Instagram to this channel.
To the channel. Yep.
We're gonna put that in the link. We're gonna create
Hopefully Spotify. Hopefully we
Spotify
get a
also, so
Spotify.
if someone who uses Spotify, they can listen it to Spotify.
Yep.
And yeah, I think this is a great introductory video.
Definitely.
This is not episode one. This is just an introduction, so you guys can get a sense of what this podcast is about, and we hope that you guys follow us along and kind of just like understand who we are as people, where do we come from, what we do, and I'm pretty sure you guys gonna get to know us much more as we go
Oh,
along with
definitely.
this podcast. And
Definitely.
yeah, it was great to
Great to
open
chat.
to the Open Mic podcast. Welcome, guys.
Welcome.
Welcome, and hope to see you soon.
Yes, sir.